Peace, kings and queens. I hope you're doing well today. I hope that you are in a good state of mind, or maybe you're needing some inspiration in this moment as you're clicking onto this video. So I appreciate your time. I speak blessings over you, peace, light, and love to you. I just wanted to take a moment. I know it's been, for those who follow, it's been a couple weeks since I've posted something. I had to take a moment to refill my cup to make sure that I was pouring from overflow. Life has truly been lifing for a lot of people, which actually is great segue into why I wanted to come and share a little bit with you. So my whole premise right now, I'm just pouring out from lessons learned, how life has taught me in good, bad, or ugly situations, just so I can share what heaven taught me and hopefully can help somebody. So February right now in my life in this season is a tough month for me. It's a transition time. So many different things has happened over the past 4 or 5 years for me personally. So it's been a little challenging. More recently, I lost my father, one who was my Joseph, one who literally was my best friend first, and then my father, as my mother we re-wedded um, to just the next level of her life. So, I had my foundation, and then God moved us forward as family. And so he was a very instrumental person in my life. I mean, same birthday month, graduated from the same high school, a whole lot of similar interests as far as music, food, and things like that. So it was really easy to relate to him as a human. But even growing into the level of a daughter, he taught me so much, and I'm still even basking off of what he sowed into my life, even now, as I continue to try to honor him. So we lost him in February, the 25th to be exact. And what took him out started to present itself during COVID, during the pandemic time frame. So it was tough, and I know it speaks to a lot of people. I'm not the only one. My family was not the only one that had to deal with some toughness, even here recently. And that's a thing, like right now, it feels like it's a lot of loss and transition as we're onboarding into a new era, a new season. And so it's bumpy. And I hate to use that analogy because of just what is being presented with even air travel. Everything is televised at this point, for the most part, as far as what's really going on, how real things are. And then I feel like everybody that I know has had someone that they know that has lost someone in their family, co-worker, cousin, this and that. So it's just been a lot of things to have to face to be uncomfortable. And so with that being the current climate, and then for me personally, still navigating this month of when I lost my dad, my first best friend, I've learned through my grief process different ways to honor him, to still find ways to pour out my love so that I have something to do, like I'm used to that relationship. So I found different things that I can do in honor of him. And a lot of it is just staying true to who I am, because he encouraged me in so many different ways, especially as a woman, as a young lady. He really poured into me. For instance, one was, making sure I always try to smile because he wanted me to always feel comfortable in that. And I don't have a perfect smile, but that never stops me because my daddy said. And so it just, again, all of those things start to come to surface for me in the month of February. And every time it comes around, this is the fourth year now. And you fight the thought because if you've ever lost someone, who wants to sit and think on it, even years after the fact, you try to be brave, you try to honor and move forward, you try to grow, or you just try to get sense or understanding of the whole scenario. And it could be a challenge, so you're putting all your energy there. Life still goes on, so you have to find a way to still. And I already had the unction in my own, or the anchor to continue to live no matter what, because that's what makes sense for me. I have to press through whatever obstacles so that the better part of me shines, and so it can inspire someone else. So it's gonna hurt, but I still got to get this thing out. And so February is a tough month for me because I have to face the fact that my dad, my first best friend, is not with me. And that's hard to fathom still, because I have life moments still that I want to share with this person who was a friend to me and who was my covering. And it means a lot for a daughter, right? And even though he didn't birth me naturally, he still considered me to be his firstborn and the entire family. So it's so much that comes with that I choose to want to continue on, but it hurts because I want to talk to him about it all sometimes. And so tomorrow will mark the fourth day that we had to say goodbye to him. And I think out of all the things I that come and cycle through my mind, I processed that those last moments because it was so real and surreal at the same time. Like the call for the families to come to the hospital, all we knew was to pray, hope, and try as much as we could to give him a chance to continue on. Not really seeing that when someone ends up in the ICU and they call the family back in the midst of COVID, when they limited visitation, it could have been a sign and we didn't see it. We just was flowing in love. Nevertheless, it was a tough, tough time. I remember how it felt. I remember how I didn't want to go to sleep because I thought he was going to die in the night, and I missed it. I would miss something those final hours. And I kind of was right because they had to resuscitate him. And then we were able to come in and ended up having to close that part of the chapter of our lives as a family. But I remember just what that was. And as much as I wanted to be the healer and command cancer to get on up out of there, because I know Jesus to call Lazarus from the dead. This is the faith that I have. But it was tough to hold on strong in my heart because I was scared. This is new. I don't get this. I haven't been this close to death since Iraq. Can we be real about that? And so it reminded me of warfare and loss and casualty. And I've seen it close. And to have to go back to a place that scarred me before and remember the wisdom to even help my family get through one of the toughest, if not the toughest time that we ever faced. What do you do with that? I remember those feelings. I remember trying to make it all make sense. I remember as a big sister how I could not console my brother or my sister or my mom. She was straight wife. And I watched her lose the love of her life. I saw their whole relationship because I was the bonus kid, the blessing to the Joseph and Mary situation, right? Just an analogy in the sense of just something that God ordained for other things to come forth. But we didn't know that we were going to have to face that as closing the chapter. And I'm trying to scrape and figure out, what am I to do? What can I do to help? I'm a healer. I'm supposed to be able to fix, because mind you, I've done that before. Mind you, I've helped to heal per the gift, my faith and the person's faith and trust in the Lord and just understanding what all that is. I've seen wins. So I had an expectation, and yet I was scared. And in those moments, all I could be was daughter. And I felt helpless because I had to watch my best friend slip away. And it's like, what do you say? What do you do? You find your footing some kind of way, or you're scraping to do that. So when I know someone that I love is going through something, I try to shower them with their favorite things, like if it's a favorite color, song, food, or just things that will soothe the soul, to take your mind off pain or distraction or that. So I try to love and with joy. And so when we were called back, here we go. All I knew was to put on my Spotify Parliament Funk playlist and hit play. Why? Because if nothing else, my daddy loves some Parliament Funk. He put us all onto that. I remember he told us how he would sit in his room, lay next to the speaker, and just listen to their records. So I'm like, okay, well, I know I'm trusting he might be on this machinery, but you're going to hear his music, and it's going to be what you love, what you know. That's all. And so the family, it was a lot that went on in that moment, but I never forget the final words that I know my father heard from me, he wasn't one to want somebody to touch his head, and don't mess with his hair. And he had great hair, right? He didn't want nobody to touch it. Probably just my mom, and that's it, right? But I didn't care in that moment. It was like I couldn't embrace him. He was bedridden at that point. I couldn't do what we normally do, but all I could do was rub his head. And I just rubbed his head. I was trying to find words to pour out, to encourage, to speak life. I'm just trying to find something. And all I could conjure up to say was, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. And every time I said it, it's like it meant something different behind it. It's okay, Daddy. We not mad at you. It's okay, Daddy. I know it's going to hurt, but you gave us God. It's okay, Daddy. It was you who I followed to the altar to get baptized. I remember, and I'm still here. It's okay, Daddy. It hurts, but we going to trust him. It's okay, Daddy. We still here. It's okay, Daddy. We know this is not what you wanted. Every time I said it, but that's all I could verbally say. And it stuck with me because I'm like, out of all the things, I'm a whole wordsmith and I have a library of books. People know me and lean on me still to this day to give words, and I had none. But it's okay. The first love of my life, my dad, you know what I mean? Like, you would think something more profound, but the reality is that was the truth, because his body is now resting. His soul is resting. He's no longer suffering. What he did, the sacrifices that he made, is literally still blessing the family to this day. And my mama is covered and she's good. Sad because we lost all of that. Nevertheless, he's still providing. And what else can you do but celebrate and honor that? But I just remember that out of all the things that I could say was that it's okay. And so because there is a whole lot going on, there are trials and tribulations, regardless of your even political stance, financial, educational, race, all of these things. At the human level, we're all dealing with something. We're all faced with some type of challenge of sorts, and maybe facing a reality that we do not like one way or another in some phase and place in our life. Because of the God that I serve, and I pray that you grow to serve and fall in love with, because of who he is, that fact alone, Psalm 91, nevertheless, in the midst thereof, we still gonna be all right. And so that's what I want to share with you. It's been scrolling across the bottom of the screen because that's the reality. So as I remember my father, I remember what words Holy Spirit just gave me. The only strength to say was the truth, that it's okay. And it's going to be okay. It's a season, and seasons have cycles and endings and beginnings. So we endure this through faith. We endure this through standing on the truth. We endure this through connecting with those who are of the same belief to give us encouragement, that speak the same language, positive, encouraging, not negative, but just trying to find sense in a matter to do better or have better for people, not just ourselves. It's taking a village. And so this is my part. Riches and gold I have not, but such that I have, I give unto thee. So as heaven pours into me, I give unto you. And it gave me that. It gave me peace in the midst of a storm. And the waters are raging right now. Nevertheless, it's going to be okay. I know he's no respecter of person. So if he could protect me and cover me through one of the toughest times, even still, it's been tough. This past weekend, I had moments, because here we are, the moment that I have to face the fact that this is the day at 11:20, 11:25, they silenced the code thing so we wouldn't have to have that sound of death in our ear. I remember that. And so pray with me as I pray with you. I face this reality with the knowledge and remembering that no matter how I feel, no matter about what it seems that I may have lost, it's still okay. And it's going to be okay, because greater is promised to me. Long life shall I satisfy thee with. I love Psalm 91 because it walks you through in the midst of this and that. This is what it really is. Remember that. I encourage you to even go and read that. My mom always printed out copies and made sure we all had it, even as adults. It's in my car right now and somewhere else in my sanctuary of home. But I just wanted to take a moment to long way again say that it's going to be okay, even though it doesn't feel like it. Trust the truth. Trust the truth. This is God's promise to us. He is not a man that he should lie. This is why I talk about him all the time. Let's just get what was real. That supernatural is what's real, because that's what's keeping it all. Let me trust something that's beyond my scope and beyond my limits to something that's limitless, someone who is all knowing to guide me through what I don't even know. Because I've said that many times this year, and I know you have too. You know what? I don't even. I was talking to my boyfriend the other day, trying to update him on just how I've been feeling, and I'm like, I don't know. I'm okay, but I don't know. I'm okay, but I don't know, because I don't know what to do with whatever I don't know what's going on. So we just gonna trust. I have no words. I just have action. And all the words that if I can say anything because it's just so discombobulating is the truth that it's gonna be okay. So I want you to sit in that. I don't know where you reside. Over this way in North Carolina, the temperatures are getting a little milder. So enjoy this fake spring this week. Get some fresh air, some vitamin D, take some pictures, and be mindful of those peaceful moments so I can endure. I encourage you to do some of the same. And you actually can go back to the other videos in the channel, subscribe so you can get notifications. You have mindful moments, just some inspiration all across the board, sprinkled throughout the content that I have. But again, as I stated before, I wanted to be consistent and just really honestly just being obedient. I want to pour out because I ask myself, what is it that I've gained? What have I gone through significantly, or even something simple that I've gained a lesson that somebody can get something out of, so they don't have to struggle a little bit like I did maybe in those moments. Make it just a little bit easier. Wisdom is like a balm, you know? So again, subscribe, share, like. I look forward to pouring out the next, whatever the next topic or inspiration may be. Have questions, email me, prayer, request, reach out. I got you, you got me. I love you all. I literally do, because of the God in you. And I pray that you come to know him better and better, even within yourself. In the blessed name of Yeshua. Peace. Yes, until next time. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate your life. I wish all things well for you and yours. Feel free to donate or sow, if led, into this good ground. Let's continue to make an impact together, one day, one moment, one conversation at a time. Bless.